Hi, my name is Robert C. Ayala, and I'm a real Democrat running for the Democratic nomination to stop the campaigns of Joe Biden, Donald Trump, or really any candidate telling us how to live, what to ingest, or how to look. Tonight, I want to tell you or show you or inform you of what real leadership looks like. You know, at the end of the day, all lives matter. And I'm very grateful today that 2 Americans were released by Hamas. And so, one of the things that we have to talk about is, as we watch the repercussions of a terrorist organization mowing down innocent civilians, we also have to be mindful of the promises made in the past and the lies that were told and the actions that were never fulfilled. So this is what I think should happen. First, Hamas should release all of the rest of the hostages, all of them, all of the Jewish folks, all of the Americans, all of the Israelis, everyone they've captured, release immediately. Second, the state of Israel should immediately create a Palestinian state that allows for an international airport and a port of entry on its seafront. Third, all terrorists associated with the horrific events of that day that slaughtered over 1,300 Israeli citizens. The citizens of Gaza must give them up. They must surrender for prosecution and war crimes trials. So, Hamas did an awful thing. Some people will say that it was your right to act for freedom. And I'm not sure that was the right way to act for freedom. I think that when you act for freedom, you move against military targets. Only terrorist organizations move against civilian infrastructure. And this goes on both sides of the table. The Israelis have many, many documented histories of them attacking ambulances and doing the same thing. So what real leadership requires is that we take the pain and suffering of those that died and we turn it into hope for tomorrow. It is not sustainable for the state of Israel to live in a perpetual militarized state. It makes no logical sense to me as an American when you can empower your enemy to establish governments, civic norms, law enforcement, intel services, in a way to actually stop the bad guys from attacking you, because they have just as much interest as you, because they want to live in freedom. And so today, what I think, instead of more bombardment of Gaza, more bombs into Gaza, more billions of dollars of American aid to go to missiles to just once again ferment the hate of the next generation against the occupied state that they live in, because that's what they live in. They live in an occupied state. As soon as Hamas attacked Israel, Israel turned off the water for the citizens. And I know that some people say, well, they voted them in, but there hasn't been an election there since 2006. It's not really an applicable situation to say that these folks, 2 million people, have the right to just decide their leaders. This is not what is available to them in the same manner as Western democracies. So today, what I would say, what I would advocate for president is I would say release all of the hostages tomorrow. Release them all tomorrow. Send them all home tomorrow. And you get a guarantee from the state of Israel for recognition of a Palestinian state, the immediate creation of an international airport for them, a border on their seaport, freedom for its citizens. And all of those people attached to those acts that killed all of those Israelis will surrender for prosecution of war crimes. Israel doesn't need to send any more bombs and missiles. They don't need to level Gaza. One genocide does not justify another genocide. And it's heartening for me to sit here and watch that a group of people who saw their own persecution literally 60, 70 years ago are here once again talking about wiping out another group of people. You have to be careful what you wish for, because what you wish for today might plague you tomorrow. So once again, under an administration by me, what I would be pressing for is not sending more missiles and American aid to Israel. I don't think Israel needs any more military aid, and most of the aid that Joe Biden is asking for isn't really going to Israel. Most of it's going to Ukraine. So once again, we have a disparity of what America's standing for. But what I stand for is all lives matter. All lives matter, and Hamas should release all of the hostages tomorrow, all of the Americans, all the Israelis, all the Jewish people. And the state of Israel should guarantee the creation of a Palestinian state. You can make this better going forward, Bibi. You can leave history that shows that you supported life. Between you and Ariel Sharon in the last 30 years, it's been nothing but death and misery and heartache for a group of people. And everybody one day will face their creator. So I would like the American hostages all released. And I think Hamas, one way or another, should release all the Americans. We have nothing to do with your repression. There, as you can clearly see, there are people on both sides of the table in the United States of America. And there is no reason for you to maintain your grip on American citizens. They should all be released so that they can come home and tell the world your story. Show the story of what's going on to the Palestinian people in the world through American eyes. Because as soon as one of them comes back, they're going to be on TV on 20 different channels explaining everything that would happen. You can turn such horror into positive acts, and the state of Israel can take such horror and turn it into positive acts where two groups of people prior to the 19th century lived in pretty much good harmony for a good 400 or 500 years. So really the only thing that's changed is the leadership between the first 400 years and the last 100 years. And I think that together the world can go back to where people live side by side as free people, not trying to hurt anybody. So once again, Hamas, release all the terrorists. The state of Israel should create an immediate Palestinian state with an international airport, a port of entry and seaport, and all terrorists who took part and all leadership that took part in that planning will surrender to the state of Israel for immediate trials and persecution under war crimes. My name is Robert C. Ayala, and I'm a real Democrat running for the Democratic nomination to stop the campaigns of Joe Biden, Donald Trump, or really any candidate telling us how to live, what to ingest, or how to look. Thank you, and I hope that the rest of the Americans held captive everywhere in the world can be released and come home to the families that love them and to the country that is their home. Have a good week.